Hello, hi my good people. I hope you are good. I'm also fine. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. We are going to have a conversation about qualities of high performance. So these are guys who perform so well in everything that they do, and hata ukiwa tu power happy, they'll still perform. And these are people that others wonder, what do you do differently, or what is this secret that you have that I don't have? People who perform regardless of the condition, regardless of the situation, regardless of the environment, and regardless of challenges that are within that area. So there are people who they will perform even when others are complaining and murmuring. For them, things will just work out for them like this, and they move on. So we are going to look at some of the qualities of these high performance people that wanatuonyesha vumbi kwa market. They, whatever they touch, if you give them a task, they will not complain about it. They will not be like, I'm not good at this, or I don't want to do this. They'll be like, leta tu songe nayo nayo. So I have the word free. So we know free is FREE. So we are going to use these letters to define this the qualities of high performance people. So number one, F stands for feeling. So these people who are high performing, they create their own feelings, not what the world throw at them. And these people they have this charisma of just creating their own feelings. You know, the way you wake up in the morning and maybe you're using a matatu, and then the conductor talks bad at you and you are mad the whole day. Maybe you wake up in the morning, your kid is like, Mom, I don't see my socks, and you are mad the whole day. But these guys, they create their own feelings. They don't rely on what the world throws at them. They don't rely on the economics and all that are happening. These are people who they make that decision. They say, I'm going to do this regardless. So they don't bank on the social media, on what is trending, on what is not trending, on what is happening, on what is the weather today. They're not like, leo kunanyesha acha mimi nikae kwa nyumba, or leo kunanyesha I'm not going to open that business. You know, when you are self-employed, sometimes they say that, you know, when you're self-employed, you have all the time, but sometimes it's so hard. But there are those people who feel like, because I'm self-employed, I don't have to wake up in the morning. When it's training, I have to sleep. I have to wake up at 11. I'm my own boss and nobody's asking me. And when they have bad feelings in the morning, they can even decide not to go and open that business because they are not feeling okay, because their moods has been interrupted in the morning, and they're like, I'm not going to open that business. But people who have that high performance, they don't rely on the feelings of others. They create their own feelings and they manage their own emotions. So whatever the world throws at them, for them, they are like, you know what, I've decided what I want to do, and I'm going to do it regardless. Whatever comes, whatever you say, I'm going to do that. So these guys, they control their feelings, and they say happiness is a choice. So this guy, they know, if I want to be sad, it's upon me. If I want to be happy, it's upon me. And I was reading a certain book about awakening the giant within, and Tony Robbins was saying, most of the time, people act based on their state of mind. And that means if your state of mind is negative, you'll always attract negative things. If your state of mind is positive, you'll always attract positive things. And this starts with our emotions, and it starts with how we start our day. So number two about these people who have high performance is responsibility. And from this point, the consequences of our choices are our own responsibility, not others. So the consequences of your choices are your own responsibilities, not other people's responsibilities. And I love what I'm seeing right now, that you find that people are taking a lot of responsibility. I think I was watching Aline Ngugi, and this lady was saying, I know I failed in my marriage. I know I cannot blame my spouse, my ex-husband, but I know I played a very big role in that marriage going under. So people like this are people who take responsibilities, and they don't feel like, you know, it because of that person, is because of what they did to me. They don't have that victim mentality, and they don't feel like life is happening for me. They feel like life is happening for my own sake. So if you find that these people, they take responsibility, they feel like life is happening for them, not on them. And they're like, yes, I messed up, I screwed up, and yes, I take all the responsibilities and I want to start afresh. So these are the guys who don't blame others. They don't blame, like, it's my colleague who made me not to perform, it's my husband or my wife who made me not to come to work early, it's my child who is very stubborn at home. They are always disturbing me so that I don't sleep well at night. That's why I'm late. I went to Kesha, believers, hello. I went to this Kesha and the pastor preached for so long. That's why I'm coming late. And people who are not performing, they always have a lot of excuses. And they blame every other person apart from themselves. And they feel like they're the saints, others are devils. So you find that these people who are really performing, they take responsibilities in whatever area in their lives, and they don't feel like I'm doing this because of someone else, but I'm doing this because of me. I'm going to work because of me. I'm running this business because of me. I'm doing this because I want to make an impact, but it starts with me. The people who go to work and they feel like I'm working because of these children, and every time they're full of bitterness, they're full of anger towards these kids because they feel like you are the reason why I'm waking up in the morning. So if you don't take responsibility, you will always blame other people, and your life will not move forward because you'll always wallow in your pain. You'll always play the victim's role, and will spend a lot of your energy on negativity. So these guys, they take responsibility. They don't care if you will judge them, but they'll be like, man, this is my mistake and I own this mistake. They will not blame their co-workers. They will not blame the environment. They will not blame their background. They will not blame their family, but they'll be like, I take responsibility about this. And when you take responsibility, that's where learning begins. But when you're in denial, you will never learn. You will never make any difference in your life. You will find more ways to learn and to unlearn, and you'll be willing to learn, you'll be willing to change, you'll be willing even to make a difference because you have taken that responsibility. But when you are blaming others every time, nothing will change. And then the third point of quality of high performance, the first E is the expression. These guys, they have self-confidence. They don't live in the past. They live in the future. These are guys that you ask, what's your plan next year? They'll be like, I was watching this channel I love so much. This guy is based in US, and it's called the School of Hard Nuts. And it's all about like meeting people in the streets and asking them, how did you become rich? Have you ever been poor? If you lost everything today, will you be able to, recover? And there's this guy who was being asked, and he said, he was being asked like, if you lose everything right now, will you be able to have everything back in 1 year? And the guy was like, this one I cannot answer because I think in decades. I don't think in years. So it means this guy was like, I don't think in 1 year. At you're asking me, will you recover everything in 1 year? No, because I don't think in 1 year. I think in decades. And these are people who they are high performance. They have this quality of high performance because for them, it's not about today. Even when they're earning that salary, they don't squander everything. They don't like impulse buying and buying the whole world. No, they think in decades. So these people, they express self-confidence and they live in the future. They don't live in the past, because when you live in the past, every time you think about what happened to you 20 years ago, imagine your brain doesn't know the difference between what happened 20 years ago and what is happening immediately. So you will end up even experiencing some anxiety, some fear, some anger, as if that scenario is happening right now. So anytime you are thinking about the past, you are just building your brain to have some chemicals and to have some emotions that will make you feel as if you're in that situation currently. And that is why you find that when somebody is bitter, they always feel anxious, they are shaking, they are shouting, they are angry, they are mad, because the body is experiencing the same situation vividly as it was 20 years ago. So anytime you're living in your past, you are conditioning your body to always experience that pain every time you think about that experience. And that is why we need to heal and to move on. If you don't heal and move on, you will be living in 2026, but your body and your mind is living in 1901. When that person hurts you, when I don't know, your parents denied you, when whatever happened. So if you live in the past, you will always have those anxiety and anger. So the last quality of these guys, and we said we are using the word free. So F stands for feeling, R stand for taking responsibilities, and the first E was about expression. The last one is expansion. These people, they have that determination to always be a blessing and to have things beyond them. These people, they think about blessing and creating an impact. They don't think about decades for their families and themselves, but they think about what can I do to someone else? How can I be a blessing to someone else? What can I do differently in my community? And how can I be a blessing not only to my family but also to people around me? And these are people who they want to expand. They think about how can I collaborate with someone? How can I have that partnership with someone that will help our community, our society to take a step forward? These are people who they'll come to the slums and build libraries. These are people who they'll go and support the girl child. These are people who they'll go and have that public speaking, not for money, but just for giving back to the community and helping people to be better from where they were yesterday. And so if you want to be high performance, number one, you need to control your feelings. Hizi my feelings kidogo kidogo na kufurafura around na kukuwa na attitude, they're not for high performance people. You are silent treating people, you are moody every day, you don't want to be corrected. Sometimes someone comes to you, they are happy, but you are just there always boring as if you are the only one who is paying tax in Kenya. You are just moody every day, you don't see anything good in this life, you will not perform well. The second thing is, if you always blame other people, you don't take responsibility, and you always feel like you are a victim, and you always feel like it is the world against you, that everyone is bad minus you, that you know you deserve more, but because you have less, because this less that you have is because so and so have more than you, and will always live a life of being envious and also blaming other people. But these people, they take responsibility, whatever, even if ni kitu mbaya aje walifanya, they will not be there and say I blame other people. They will take that ownership, they will take that responsibility, and they'll be like, I'm the one who is in charge in this. And because we know the consequences of our choices are our own responsibilities, not that child that you are telling, I'm in this marriage because of you. They did not tell you to give birth to them. So just take your own responsibilities and say, I'm the one who chose this man or this woman, and I'm the one who has to take responsibility. And the last one that we have said is expansion. So we have said that these guys, they always think in decades, and they always want to be a blessing to other people. Not all about them, but also how they impact life and generations to come. So I hope that you have learned something, and that will purpose and will try our best to be high performance, that will try our best to control our focus, to take responsibility, to express ourselves, to have that confidence, and to expand, just to be a blessing to a larger community. One thing that I always remember is, when you die, people will not even remember how much you have in your bank account, or how much you are earning, or which jobs you are doing, or which titles you are. I don't know, the CEO, the PhD, the everything, all titles that we have, the doctor and all that, they are good. But when you die, people will always remember how you made them feel and how you supported them, maybe financially, spiritually, just an encouragement. How you make people feel go long way than the titles that you have. So I want to challenge us that, what are you doing differently, that when you're not here today, people will remember and say, I miss so and so, because when this person was alive, this person used to encourage me, this person used to support me, this person used to take care of my children, this person will always visit me and my children, this person used to maybe pay school fees for children in our community. So what will people remember about you and me when we die? How do you want to be remembered? Because as I've said, people will not remember the title. One thing and one story I've learned in the Bible is about this lady called Dorcas. And I was asking myself, by the way, why did these women approach Peter and tell Peter, you have to resurrect this woman for us? At the end of the day, Dorcas, okay, there's no anything that is saying she was a prayerful woman, speaking in tongues, fasting. All these things are good. She used to be with Jesus. She was the church elder, the church minister. She was reverend. She was pastor. She was bishop. She was, I don't know, a disciple, or all these titles that we have that are good. But the reason why these women went to Peter and told Peter, you know what, you are going to resurrect this woman, was because of how she made them feel, by just create, giving them clothes, manufacturing and tailoring clothes for widows. And it is because of these widows that they went to Peter and say, you know what, we don't care, but you have to bring this woman back to life. So my question is, if me and you die tomorrow, what will people go to God and tell God? You have to bring Oyamo to life. You have to bring Maggie to life. You have to bring Esther to life. What will people remember about you that will make them to cry to God, even when you are sick? But the one thing I always say is good health is a blessing. And sometimes the people that impact their lives, their prayers are what God is answering. They are praying for you. They are telling God, this one should not be sick, because if they are sick, I will not survive. This one should not lose their job, because when they lose their job, my children will go hungry. This one will not lose their job, because when they lose their job, I will sleep outside. So what are you attaching to what you are doing that will make God to continue to give us more life and more life, that people will go at night and kneel down and pray for you? What will people pray for you about? So sometimes what we do, the reason why there are people who, even if things are shaky, even if things are not happening, they'll always stand, is because what is attached to their income. I remember a friend of mine, there's a time sometimes back, we were going through a very rough road in terms of where we work. So there was a lot of uncertainty and all that. And we were just having a conversation with this lady, a very good friend of mine, I think 3-4 years ago. And what she was telling me is, I'm praying to God that I will still sustain this job so that I can pay school fees for my niece. And this niece is an orphan. And I was telling her, God is going to answer your prayers, not because of you, but because of that niece. So what are you crying for when you go before God? What are you telling God? Remember. So as I finish, I don't want this video to be long, but there are a lot of examples that we can talk about. There's a man who in the Bible called Ezekiel. And Ezekiel was about to die, but he told God, remember my service. And the same prophet who went to tell him to put his house in order because he's going to die is the same prophet who went back and told him, God has added you more years. So what are we doing today that will make God to add us more and more years? So I pray that God will help us, me included, that will not just exist in this life, but will live, that even when we are not here physically, people will remember what we did to them, how we made them feel, and they'll always thank God. Just a challenge between me and you and all of us, that let's purpose to live a different life, and also to know that after everything is said and done, people will not remember our titles, people will not remember our faces, but people will remember how we make them feel.